Have you ever started to make a recipe and found out you just don't have all the ingredients? I'm like, whoops, what do you do? Oh no! You know, you have it half done. And you're like, oh no, I'm missing a key ingredient. Well, you can run to your neighbor and hopefully they have something, but there is a better way of doing this so that you don't ever have that problem again. And I'm going to give you a French term which means to put in place, and that's called mise en place. And it's about organization and being prepared and having everything prepped before you start, getting all your ingredients out, all the tools that you need, everything that you need to make this recipe. Your pan's prepared, buttered prepared. If you need anything chopped, you want to have that all set out before you, so that when you get ready to actually make this recipe, you know you have all the ingredients, you know you have the tools, and it's a way to help you cook without having to stop. It's very efficient. So I'm going to show you today a very simple recipe, but you can practice it. I thought we'd do something really simple to show this mise en place. Okay, come join me. We are going to make deviled eggs. I got this book, I hope you can see it, at the library. It's kind of got a glare on there, sorry. And it's from the American Girls doll collection. And it's very fascinating. It has a lot of great, wonderful stories in there about the era that this little girl is in. And they also give recipes for us to follow. And for this one, I chose a simple deviled egg recipe, because everybody likes deviled eggs, right? Okay, we're going to follow this recipe. Okay, I realize you can't see me anymore, but at least you can see my prep space. My first suggestion is, especially when you're starting a new recipe, is to read through the recipe 3 times so you totally understand it. You don't want to try and understand it as you're actually cooking, because that's a lot of confusion. You may miss a step and you may miss some ingredients, and that just doesn't work out too well at all. So in this recipe for deviled eggs, we need some measuring spoons. We may not use all of them, but we need them, and so I've brought them out. We also need just some regular teaspoons that you would need to use. A sharp knife to cut our eggs with. We're going to use a fork to mash our egg yolks. And of course, now we're going to need our hard-boiled eggs. Now, you may have a way of your own to cook hard-boiled eggs, but basically you put them in a pan of water, bring the water to a boil for 5 minutes, cover the pan and take it off the heat and let it sit for about 15-20 minutes, and that will give you good hard-boiled eggs. Once that's done, you want to put them, the whole egg with the shell, in some cold water and bring down that heat, because it's very hard to peel once they're really hot. Another important thing about mise en place is you want to have an extra bowl. It could be any bowl, but make it big enough, because you're going to have, maybe some paper towel to wipe your hands, and then it's going to be dirty. Where are you going to put the shells from the egg? You want to put everything that you would consider that you're going to throw away later in this bowl. That way you don't have to trek to the garbage can all the time, back and forth. That's inefficient also. So we're just going to put whatever thing that we're going to end up throwing away in this bowl. And at the end of when we are done making our recipe, we will just take the bowl and dump the contents into the trash. So isn't that more efficient? We're going to need an extra bowl to put our egg yolks in, a plate to serve our eggs, and now we're going to need ingredients. So our ingredients, of course, are our eggs. We're going to need mustard. We're going to need mayonnaise. Some relish, if you like relish. Some people do, some people don't. You can add other things, of course, to your deviled eggs, but we're making it really simple today. Some paprika to sprinkle on afterwards. That's just on the top. Give it a little bit of color. Some fresh ground pepper, black pepper. And, of course, some salt. All right, let's get started. What is the first thing we need to do? Well, first, after we have hard-boiled our eggs, we do need to take the shell off. So I tap it on both ends a little bit. And if you notice on the fat end, there creates a little air pocket in there. And I use that air pocket to peel off the eggshell. It just makes it a little bit simpler and easier. You can kind of smash the eggshell in your hand too and make it easier, and you just start peeling away. And this is the reason why I peeled the first 2 eggs before we turn on the camera, because it can take a while. And that's like watching paint dry. That's no fun. So as soon as I get this peeled, and if I had allowed this egg to sit in the cold bath water longer, it would have come out a little more pretty, not so chunky. Okay. Now I'm just using the paper towel to dry off the eggs because they're wet. They've been sitting in this water. See, these turned out just perfect. The yolk and the whites are going to look really pretty on these. All right, so see, I'm done with this. My eggshells are in here. I don't need them. There's my bowl. There's my paper towel that I didn't need. I could even set this aside because I don't need this anymore either. Now what we have is our eggs. So our directions say slice the eggs in half lengthwise. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the knife and cut it in half. So now you have 2 halves. See? Pretty cool, huh? And I'll do it to the next one. And if you're not old enough to use a sharp knife, have your mother or your dad help you, of course. And boiling the eggs, of course, you know, if you're not old enough to do that, you let your parents help you on that. All right. So now we have our 6 halves because we had 3 eggs and we sliced them in half. That gives us 6 halves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 halves.